Alright, I want to go ahead and go over a comparison of different types of drawings that you can make topo surfaces out of. I've got two line drawings. One has multiple lines in the Z, one I've erased many of them in the Z. And then I have a surface, and I want to take these into Revit and just show you how it topos those. So if I open up Revit, I've already linked these into this drawing. So you can see here's the surface. This is taken from Google SketchUP. All these lines are actually taken as sections and intersect with surface from Google SketchUp. And I've just erased these. So let's go ahead and take a look and see how Revit makes topos from them. So if you go to the Massing and Site tab, you can go to Topo Surface, create from import, select import instance, and I'm going to pick that surface and remove the layers that I don't want and click OK. It's going to go through and surface that. It's going to give me a little warning about a border, but I'm not concerned about that. It basically places points in a grid. So if I go to my site plan, you can see if I zoom in, it's just gridding that out coincident with the Google SketchUp grid. Alright, so if I go back to my 3D view, just hit the big green check, it'll finish that surface off. Now if I select this one, go to Modeling and Site, go to Topo Surface, create from import instance, select import instance, pick that, get rid of the layers that I don't want, click OK. It's going to do the same thing to this one, but it's actually going to lay them along those lines. The points go along the lines, or a variation of along the lines, as opposed to in a grid. Alright, and I'll just go ahead and hit check on that one. And do the same thing for the last one. Click OK. Click OK. It's taking a little longer because it's interpolating all of those lines. So you see it puts points on every single one of those lines. So I'm going to hit check. It's going to finish that. Now I'm going to go into my site plan view, zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to unload those AutoCAD links so we can just see the surfaces. Alright, so now we're just looking at the surfaces. They're a little dense, so I'm going to change the intervals to 12 feet, and let's change this interval to 4 feet and click OK. And you can see that they're very similar. This one might be a little bit more accurate, but very similar at the top. And honestly, I will get a different topo each time I do it. But you can see this one is the most accurate with this fall here. And this one is a little bit more uniform at this place, but it's a lot less memory intensive. So you just have to decide, what's important to you. And then this one, you can actually start to see the square, a little bit more square there. There's a little bit more square there, right? This one has some, maybe what you might call some anomalies or some strangenesses in it, but you're going to get a little bit different from each one. I tend to prefer the ones with the lines, and I don't mind that this is a little bit less intense or accurate right there. Okay. One final thing I wanted to show you was that these corners that I drew in are nice and crisp and sharp, and the ones that don't get drawn in get sort of truncated. It's not a big deal, but that's up to you. The other thing I wanted to show you was sometimes you'll get this little skin on the edge. You see that occurring on the edge. If I go to my AutoCAD drawing, right, and I maximize this one, which is the one that has a skin on it. If I go to Plan and I zoom in, there's going to be a little piece of it sticking over that I'm going to need to trim off. And if I trim that off, and I'm just going to erase this little part right there, and I'm going to save it, and I'm going to go back to Revit. I'm going to delete that topo surface. I'm going to go to Manage Links and reload that. Okay, and now if I go to Topo Surface Create from import instance, select import instance, and get rid of the ones I don't want. Click OK. Take a minute, big green check, and you'll see that skin is gone. Alright, so those are just a couple of things I wanted to show you, and we're done.